And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mac Remembers Julie Wilson. Please welcome Mac President Lennie Watts.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you all so much for coming out on this beautiful summer day to help us honor the incomparable Julie Wilson. My name is Lennie Watts. I am the current president of MAC. Thank you. And on behalf of the entire MAC board, I want to thank you all for coming out this afternoon to what is a really special occasion for us. MAC is thrilled to be able to do this. And for those of you who aren't sure exactly why you're here, obviously we're paying tribute to the wonderful Julie Wilson, but this is the first of our plaque dedications that MAC is going to be doing. And this plaque that's dedicated to Julie will hang in the Don't Tell Mama with the show posters until the place falls down. But this will be there. So we're really thrilled to be able to have this plaque there, so that not only people coming to the cabaret rooms, but people from all over the world who come to Don't Tell Mama, and they do, from all over the world, will actually be able to see just a little bit of what Julie contributed to cabaret and theater and music and all of our lives. So we're really thrilled to hang this. We're also thrilled that on January 30th, we will be doing another one of these for the incredible Jan Wallman, and that will hang at the duplex in front of the cabaret room. So we'll keep an eye out for that one. We'll be doing another presentation at the duplex. So we are thrilled as an organization to be able to do that, to honor these people that have meant so much to all of us. So again, thank you all so much for coming. We have a lovely lineup of people that Julie loved and that certainly loved Julie. And it's great to be able to have them here to pay a little tribute to her. Please welcome Tex Arnold to the piano. Over there. He's already there. And I believe that's all for the beginning. Yes. So let's get things started with them. If you saw Julie out and about for the last few years, you saw her never without this young woman. And she was a wonderful friend to Julie. She's also a wonderful entertainer, wonderful singer. I know her from Summerstock 123 years ago at Theater by the Sea in Rhode Island. She's lovely. Please welcome the lovely Debbie Dan.
Thank you, Lennie. Hi, everybody. I am so honored to be here this evening, and thank you, Lennie and Sidney, for asking me to be a part of this afternoon. So, the day I met Julie Wilson was one of those times in my life when I knew I was exactly at the right moment, the right place at the right time. And I called it a divine appointment. She, of course, called it kismet. And it was. Fate is kind. She brings to those who love that sweet fulfillment of their secret longing. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate stepped in to see us through. And it did. Saw us through right to the very end. She taught me that we had to live life to its fullest, and she would always be so good about appreciating the moment. She would call me up and say, "Come on, honey bun, let's make hay while we can." I know that when I look back on my life, those years spent with Julie will be some of the most special. She was magical. She had a light inside of her that would touch every single person that she met. Whether that was Rocky the doorman, or Ava the checkout girl at Klein's Grocery, Scotty the bouncer on 55th Street, she would stop and have conversation with every single person, and they felt seen and heard and valued, and that in turn made her so much more special to me. We had a lot of good times, and she made me laugh often. I took her to her first rock concert at the age of 90. We went to Madison Square Garden to see Billy Joel. And never mind that she insisted his name was Billy Joy. That That might have had something to do with Billy Roy, but she called him Billy Joy, and she called Michael Bublé Michael Bubble. And since purple was her favorite color, Holt's new series, Blue Bloods, was called The Purple People. She called Rosamond. Rosamond, are you here? Yeah. Hi, Rosamond. She called Rosamond her Valentine, Holt her #1 son, and I was Honey Bun. So we had frequented every nightclub and attended probably most of everybody's cabaret shows here in this room. And I was so honored to be with her everywhere we went, and that's how I came to know so many of you people in this community. And you were her showbiz family, and she loved you. She couldn't wait to get dressed up and come out every night. She believed that music was a healer, and because of the incredible joy that she derived through performing, it was important to her that she encouraged anyone who had a passion to sing. If that was your wish and the true desire in your heart, she wanted to see you realize your dream. She wanted that for you, Holt, and she wanted that, here you are, you're gonna sing. And she wanted that for me too. She'd say, oh, honey bun, I had a dream, you were singing. And she said, I know you will when you're ready. So I think it's interesting that she is still trying to find ways to motivate me to get up here and sing. So I know she's here with us today because where else would she be? And this is something that I've been working on that she never got to hear. So, Julie, this is for you. A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartache. Whatever you wish for, you keep. Have faith in your dreams, and someday your rainbow will come smiling through. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. You wake with the morning sunlight to find your fortune may be smiling on you. Don't let your heart be filled with sorrow, for when you wake tomorrow, the dream that you wish will come true. See you later, alligator. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the man with the music, my wonderful accompanist, Tex Arnold.
I'll try to keep this pretty quick. Can you hear me a little, sort of? Okay. So I met Julie for the first time. When else would you meet somebody for the first time except the first time? In January of 1972, she had taken over the role in Company, the Elaine Stritch part, and she sang it better than anybody, I think. And I was the keyboardist for the Company national tour. So we had a couple of weeks in Miami, and then we devolved into a bus and truck company. And that was quite an experience for me, as it was for Julie, but she was such a pro. She knew how to make life on the road comfortable for herself. She got the coveted second seat behind the bus driver. That was where the stars sat. And because I was carrying on with one of the actresses in the Company, I got the seat directly behind the bus driver. Ann Johnson, my girlfriend. So I got to know Julie pretty well. She managed to fashion a daybed in that bus by collecting shopping bags from all of the supermarkets we would. So she had a very nice perch for the ride. And another quick. We always had, quite often we would have dinner with Alan Sanderson, who was the chef for our little foursomes. Alan did all the cooking on the hot plate, and we gave him money to go buy the steaks and the baked potato that with this hot plate, he could fashion quite a meal for us. But then, of course, I knew Julie when we taught at the O'Neill and later at Yale University, and she was a champion of cabaret for all the people that she taught. I mean, she deserved the Purple Heart for coming out to see all these shows. I want to say that. And the one thing that I was so happy when she was teaching the students at both camps was, if she couldn't understand the words, she would say, "I can't hear the words." I hope that improved people's diction, because she was really a champion of that. And for anybody that would like to hear the meaning of the song, I think that's to be treasured. So that's my experience with Julie, and it was great. So here we are at Arnold.
That was Debbie Jack and Tex Arnold. Thank you. Please welcome not only our musical director for the day, but Julie's longtime musical director, Mr. Christopher Denny. All right, our next performer is another longtime friend of Julie's and a wonderful singer. Please welcome Chris Zelno.
Everybody. Get rid of this. A lot of people. I am delighted to be here this afternoon. Thank you, Holt. Thank you, Lennie. Thank you, Sidney. For the last 5 years of her life, I had the privilege, honor, and great pleasure of being Julie's little helper and companion. We had a lot of fun. There are two memories that particularly stick out that I wanted to share with you this afternoon. Last January, which was just about 3 months before she passed away, I took her to see the revival of On the Town on Broadway. And we had great seats, and we were really excited. And for anybody who knew Julie in her later years, she was tired. She was always tired. So the orchestra finishes. The next thing that happens is this big burly bass guy comes right down the aisle, right by us, and the first thing he sings is, "I feel like I'm not out of bed yet." And Julie yells out, "So do I!" Yells it out. My second story happened the January before, January of 2014. It was a Thursday evening, and it was a horrible New York winter night. There was black ice, there was wind, it was freezing, it was dangerous to go out. And Julie and her wonderful friend Rosamund, who's sitting back there, they decided that they just had to go to the Metropolitan Room that night to see someone whose act they probably had seen at least 20 times. They had to go that night. And I said, "Julie, how are you getting there?" And she said that Rosamund was going to pick her up in a taxi. I said, "Oh, God." And I said, "How about if I come over and I'll come downstairs with you, and you and I'll both go down and meet Rosamund, and then I'll take you both downtown to the Metropolitan Room and at least, deposit you so I know you're safe." So she agreed to that. She didn't want to agree to that, but she agreed to it. And there was terrible traffic. Rosamund was late. The cab didn't know where it was going. Rosamund left her cell phone at home. Everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. Also, there were huge snowbanks on every corner, on every street, huge snowbanks. So Julie and I finally got into the car, and Rosamund was there, and we all went downtown to the Metropolitan Room, and we were getting out of the car, and Julie and Rosamund had a big fight about who was going to pay. And then there was this huge snowbank from the street over to the sidewalk in front of the Metropolitan Room. And I was like, what am I going to do to get them over? So I just pulled her. I just pulled Julie in her size 11.5 men's boots over the snowbank. And she was on the sidewalk. And then I had to deal with Rosamund. And Julie yells out, "Rosamund, hold on to Chris. I'm okay." It was like something out of Gilligan's Island, or an Arctic Gilligan's Island or something. But that was my job. My job was to look after Julie. And this is the tune. Nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around. Nothing's gonna harm you, no sir, not while I'm around. Demons are prowling everywhere nowadays. I'll send them howling, I don't care, I got ways. No one's gonna hurt you, no one's gonna dare. Others can desert you, not to worry, whistle, I'll be there. Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time, nothing can harm you, not while I'm around. Not to worry, I may not be smart, but I ain't dumb. I can do it, put me to it, show me something I can overcome. Not to worry, Mum. Being close and being clever ain't like being true. I don't need to, I won't never hide a thing from you. Like no one's gonna hurt you, no one's gonna dare. Others can desert you, not to worry, whistle, I'll be there. Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time, nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around. Denny.
That was Christopher Zelno.
You know, I bet if we went around the room, everybody would have a delightful Julie Wilson story. We're not going to do that, however. But for those of you who don't know, on the MAC website, there's a page called MAC Remembers Julie Wilson, and there's a lot of great pictures, and there are a few stories that are on there as well, and we encourage people to send us stories. So and that still holds. So if you have a story, or an anecdote or a picture of something that you would like to be on that page on the MAC website, please send it to info@macnyc.com, and they will get it to the right people, and it'll go up on the website. I wanted to read this because this was actually one of the stories that was up there. And this is from Peter Levy, who is the editor of Cabaret Scenes, of course. And, a great, great guy. But this is what he wrote on there. Julie was always quick with her comments. It was at one of her engagements in New York's Helen's, when post-show, a group of us were sitting around one of the long tables in the bar. At the far end of the table, a young man said to his equally youthful date, "You know, Julie's going to be giving a show here in October on her 80th birthday." And the last replied, "80? Who wants to be 80? Julie, hearing the exchange, leaned over and said, "Someone who's 79, dear." I feel like that story, that's the Julie Wilson that I know. I feel like that story really sums her up. That is a good one. I imagine that you may have a story or two regarding Julie. Christopher Denny, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. I've never actually spoken at one of these Julie events before, and I'm a little bit at a loss to know what in the world to say, because I had so much time with her and so many different kinds of experiences. I mean, on the one hand, she's the most complicated person I knew, because her taste was so sophisticated and her judgment so razor sharp. On the other hand, she was the simplest person I knew, because she had such simple kind of honesty and a view of things that was penetrating but just clear from the moment that she looked at it. She could look at a song that appeared to be just full of just a jungle of thoughts and whatnot, and just say one word and it would explain everything that the song was. She was like that in life. She could meet a new person and have a conversation as profound with them and simple and sort of reaching into who they were as she could with her oldest friend. And she wasn't any different on stage than off, which is strange because she had so many sides off stage, and almost all of them found their way on stage, and about as honestly as anyone ever has done on a stage. She's the only singer I've ever worked with who didn't know how to mark anything. So that if you worked with her, every time she went through a song, she would fully do it. I mean, even if she said she was exhausted, she'd get up and pull herself together and then just do it, And how many times have I heard young singers say, well, don't expect me to really perform, because I only do that when there's an audience. And the audience changes me, this kind of thing. And Julie would get up and do a 20-minute medley 5 times in a row, and the same huge gesture and the same big emotional moment, it would always be there. Even if it were one person in the room, she would do it the same way. I suppose the best story I would have, and there are so many of them, is one that was told a lot, I think, by Baby Jane for about a season in her show. There was the next to last big blackout in New York. She was supposed to come rehearse with me that day. And the blackout happened around 4 in the afternoon, and we had a rehearsal at 5, and I knew she'd never make it in from Jersey City, so I didn't expect her at all. Although we had a gig in Atlanta, we were leaving the next day for a gig, so. But around 7, the phone rang, and it was the building manager saying, "Miss Wilson is here, she's going to walk up." I'm on the 20th floor. And Julie was certainly 80 by now, and I said, put her on the phone, and I said, "You are not walking up here. That is ridiculous." She said, "Darling, I've just come. I had to get in from Jersey City, and then I had to walk up to 59th Street to pick up my music from so-and-so, and then I walked down to your place at 14th Street, and here I am. Of course I'm going to walk up." She said, and I said, you shouldn't do that. Let me come down. I'll get the music. She said, "Oh, for God's sake, I'm an old pioneer woman from Omaha." She said, can I get you anything?" So I said, "All right, look, I'll walk down halfway and I'll meet you, and we can stop a few times, whatever." I'm thinking I'll help her up. So I get downstairs and I'm winded going downstairs, And I can hear this chattering going on, and it turned out it was Julie with a young show kid. Some kid saw her and was walking up with her, and he was more excited, you know. I mean, he was just bubbling. And he was out of breath, and she was not. She was just talking to him perfectly normally. And we let him off, and I walked with her up, and she was ready to rehearse. So we rehearsed, and as the light sort of fell, we had to stop. And then she asked what canned goods we might have in the house. So out came the emergency rations of the bottled water and the Dinty Moore stew, and a lot of candles. And she kept saying, this stew is so delicious. You know, she could eat in the finest place, but she also didn't care. If it was a canned stew and she liked it, you know. So we opened a bottle of red wine. I had some bread around and something else. With some dessert was to be had. I can't remember. And she pronounced it an incredible meal, you know, and said she was ready to go to sleep. And I said, well, you're obviously not going home, so let me pull the bed out. Oh God, no, I'll just sleep on the floor. And I said, well, what are you talking about? I said, I have a really good bed here. She said, no, don't pull it out. Just give me a sheet. And I said, well, now I have pillows. I don't want a pillow. Just give me a sheet. She said, I slept by my mother's bed for years when she had her stroke, and we had to turn her many times a night, and I just got used to sleeping on the floor with a sheet. So I said, that's ridiculous. So I gave her a sheet. I said, I'm going to go find the pillow. By the time I came back, she was sound asleep with a sheet pulled up. And I didn't bother her. I put the pillow next to her and went to bed. And when I got up, she was already up at 7 or something, going through envelopes and saying, you know, I brought my bills with me, I'm just checking out the bad news. And eventually we heard that, you know, a car was coming to get us to the airport to go to our gig. And so we had to walk down, and I'm carrying my suit and my bag and all, and she's saying, let me carry that. And she's grabbing my bag, grabbing my suit, you know, walking me downstairs, making sure I'm fine. And that, to me, is probably as close as a encapsulation of everything about Julie that you can imagine. You know, rehearsing Kurt Weill and Sondheim, and then raving over canned stew, and insisting on carrying my things downstairs.
That's great. You should speak more often. You're good at it. All right, I have one more thing to read. When I was putting this show together, it was important to me to try to involve as many people that were really friendly with Julie and knew Julie. And one of the first people I reached out to was Sharon McKnight, and she was excited to come and do this, but she couldn't be here because she's doing some other show, and there was a travel agent. But up until the last minute, she was gonna do it. But she sent me this, and she told me to read it. It comes complete with line readings and gestures that I am to use. So if you'll indulge me for 1 second, I would just like to tell you that this was sent from Sharon McKnight. So first, what do you call a larger-than-life legend? Except no substitutions, she is the true queen of cabaret. La Wilson, La Jewel, La Grande Dame. She told me how to say damn, D-A-M. Plus a swell dame and a great broad to boot. Omaha, Nebraska is famous for their beef and Julie Wilson. She's a bad, oh damn, I lost count. Using finger to silently count the, oh shit, I forgot to do that part. Too bad this is being recorded. She's gonna see that I didn't do her correction. And another bad for good measure, bad woman. She put the B in boa, in bobby pins and buns. If you ever decide to sing Sondheim or Noel Coward, just be resigned to the fact that you will never, ever do it better than Julia Marie Mary Lou Wilson. If she says she hears a waltz, you will hear it too, or you're hard of hearing. She's a good, Christ, here we go again, good company. Yes, it's true, we admit it. Julie and I have lived together at the Yale dorm. How many can say they've done her hair, made her root beer floats, and defrosted her refrigerator? And you people claim to know Julie Wilson. Ha! Like Benny Davis. I got that one. No one has been more supportive to beginners, more gracious to performers, and more passionate and disciplined than our Julie. She physically wrote out her lyrics in longhand for every performance. One of the greatest joys of our friendship was making her laugh. She would throw her head back and howl. Sometimes I'll tell you the Saks Fifth Avenue story. Oh, she's going to tell you that story. You'll have to talk to her about that. You'll howl too. It was my honor to know her. We miss you, sister, Sharon McKnight. Please welcome to the stage Mac Board member and terrific singer, Stearns Matthews.
Hi, everybody. So I just have a quick Julie story. She was, as others have said, so supportive and so generous, and she came to see so many cabaret shows, particularly us beginners. I'm not a beginner anymore, but back in the day. So she came to see one of my shows, and Lennie, my director, had told me, I came back to the dressing room first before the show started. She said, Julie Wilson's here. I said, oh my God. And he said, you know, if you want to, if you think of it, you could introduce her, let everybody know she's here and everything. I said, oh, okay, absolutely. So I'm doing my thank yous at the end of the show, and I said, I'm so excited because we've got cabaret royalty in the room. The Queen of Cabaret, Julie Wilson, is here. And they brought up the house lights, and Julie stood up and waved, and it was awesome, and the lights went back down. And after the applause, just in the perfect moment of silence, she shouted at the stage, "You're as cute as Helen Morgan!" And I used that quote on all of my postcards for about 5 years. And then immediately after the show, I went home and Googled who Helen Morgan was. And of course saw the resemblance right away. But, so I'm part of a generation of cabaret singers that there's a whole catalog of music that we wouldn't know or appreciate the same way that we do now if it weren't for Julie Wilson. And so this is a song that I wouldn't necessarily appreciate the same way if it weren't for her. My romance doesn't have to have a moon in the sky. My romance doesn't need a blue lagoon standing by. No month of May, no twinkling stars, no hideaway, no soft guitars. My romance doesn't need a castle rising in Spain, or a dance to a constantly surprising refrain. Wide awake, I can make my most fantastic dreams come true. My romance doesn't need a thing but you. Doesn't need a castle rising in Spain, nor a dance to a constantly surprising refrain. Wide awake, I can make my most fantastic dreams come true. My romance doesn't need a thing but you.
few years ago, back when Backstage came in hard copy, and we would read it all the time, there was an article, it was right after composer and pianist John Wallowich passed away, and the article was called Cabaret Masters, Past, Present, and Future. And the past was John Wallowich, the present was Julie Wilson, and the future is our next performer, the wonderfully talented Lorinda Lisitza.
Hi, everyone. Oh, it's like I never worked here or something. Hi. So, since we're sharing some Julie stories, Julie and I had in common that we were both farm girls. I'm from Porcupine Plain, Saskatchewan. And one of the last things I did before I came to New York on a wing and a prayer, I worked on the tractor a lot and did summer follow and whatnot. And I would listen to a very specific song. It's been a part of my life for a really long time. And it's the song that I sang to get me to New York to come to school. And I had always thought, if only I could see Lotta Lenya someday sing this song, but I missed that opportunity because I was too young. I didn't come to New York, and Lenya passed in, I think, '79. But I was very, very lucky because I got to see the next best thing to Lenya sing the song, and it was Julie. And I saw her sing it for the first time at the town hall in 2002. We were on a bill of a show called Once in a While. It was the first time I ever sang at town hall. And I snuck up into the top after I was done for the day and watched her from way high up in the doorway sing this song. And then later, in 2008, she performed not her last song, like set of a song in New York, not her last one, but I think her second to last at the Metropolitan Room, and I was working there at the time. And I saw every show. I worked every one of them. I was the waitress, and that's where I met Holt and got to know him, and he was at every show as well. And every night I would stop whatever I was doing, and if you had a drink coming, that was just tough luck. Because Julie was going to sing Surabaya Johnny. And that, to me, is Julie. That's one of her signature songs, and she just did it so beautifully. And she was like watching a master class. And when she'd sing it, as Chris reminded me, and Chris was there playing for her, she would always say, "This is a love song." I had just turned 16 that season when you came up from Burma to stay, and you told me I ought to travel with you. You were sure it would be okay. When I asked how you earned your living, I can still hear what you said to me. You had some kind of job with the railway and had nothing to do with the sea. You said a lot, Johnny, a one big lie, Johnny. You cheated me blind, Johnny, from the minute we met. I hate you so, Johnny, when you stand there grinning, Johnny. Take that damn pipe out of your mouth, you rat. Surabaya, Johnny, no one's meaner than you. Surabaya, Johnny, my God, and I still love you so. Surabaya, Johnny, why am I feeling so blue? You have no heart, Johnny, and I still love you so. At the start, every day was Sunday, till we went on our way one fine night. And before 2 more weeks were over, you thought nothing I did was right. So we trekked up and down through the Punjab, from the source of the river to the sea. When I look at my face in the mirror, there's an old woman staring back at me. You didn't want love, Johnny. You wanted cash, Johnny. But I saw your lips, Johnny, and that was that. You wanted it all, Johnny. I gave you more, Johnny. Take that damn pipe out of your mouth, you rat. Surabaya, Johnny. No one's meaner than you. Surabaya, Johnny. My God, and I still love you so. Surabaya, Johnny. Why am I feeling so blue? You have no heart, Johnny, and I still love you so. Though your name should have told me different, I had hoped you would soon settle down. But from one end of the coast to the other, they would cheer when you came to town. And one day in a 2-bit flop house, I'll wake up to the roar of the sea, and you'll leave without one word of warning on the ship waiting down at the quay. You have no heart, Johnny. You're just a louse, Johnny. How can you go, Johnny, and leave me flat? You're still my love, Johnny, like the day we met, Johnny. Take that damn pipe. Surabaya, Johnny. No one's meaner than you. Surabaya, Johnny. My God, and I still love you so. Surabaya, Johnny. Why am I feeling so blue? You have no heart, Johnny. And I still love you so. Thank you, Chris.
That was Lorinda Lisitza. And joining her is Randy Lester. He goes, it's time for Suddenly Seymour, I guess. I think backstage got it right. For sure. Okay, our next performer needs no introduction, especially in this room. You all know him, but I will introduce him anyway. Please welcome to the stage the incomparable Sidney Myer.
I was just bowing to you. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming, and Lennie and Stearns and Amy and everyone on the Mac board for making this celebration. Like most of you, I had the great privilege of seeing Miss Wilson many times in clubs over 35 years, big clubs, small clubs, theaters, wherever, and the indelible image of her, looking stunning in a sheath of sequins and the hair in a bun with a gardenia and that Roman coin profile. I mean, what's to say? Everybody has swooned about her performances, and my two memories that I would like to share with you today are offstage moments. For over 10 years, I had the joy of working on a cable television program called Cabaret Beat, and thank you. It was, we covered cabaret in small clubs and big clubs, and we got to attend many openings at all those prestigious rooms, that, like Rainbow and Stars, and the Oak Room of the Algonquin, and the Ballroom, and even Feinstein's on Park Avenue. I mean, it was just a glorious time, and Julie was always headlining somewhere, and Russian Tea Room, and I got to be there opening night with her and speak, and we just, I think I learned so much today, and I think one of the reasons I hit it off so well with Julie is because I, too, I'm an old pioneer woman from Philadelphia. Well, so this one time, we were at, Julie was at Rainbow and Stars. Young people out there who don't know, it was just this glittering place on top of the town. And what had happened was the publicist for Rainbow and Stars, Mr. David Lotz, had gone to Julie's dressing room right before the performance and knocked on the door and said, "Julie," now you have to remember, this is when this took place, it was like 20-some years ago. "Julie, the most exciting thing has happened." And he said, "Madonna is coming to your show." And Julie said, "What?" And David said, "She's coming with her entourage. She wants no publicity, no mention, no reference, no spotlight. She wants complete anonymity." And Julie said, "Well, if that's what she wants, that's what she'll get." So after the performance, and Madonna was seated in the back, Mr. Lotz, the publicist, led Julie into this long side room at Rainbow and Stars, completely empty, and Julie was standing there alone. And all of a sudden, the doors open, and Madonna walks in with her entourage. And Madonna walks up to Julie, and Julie extends her hand, and Madonna shakes it. And Julie's standing there. And Madonna says, "You're good." And Julie said, "Thank you." And Madonna said, "And you're funny, too." And Julie said, "Thank you." And Madonna said, "So, what's next? What have you got coming up?" And Julie said, "Well, I don't have anything coming up after this engagement." And Madonna said, "Well, that's showbiz." It happened. My second memory was sort of the flip side of that. As you all know, in the last few years, when Julie moved to New York and lived right up the block, a few blocks up with Holt, she was constantly here with the most devoted Debbie Down, really. And I mean, 3, 4, 5 times a week she'd come. Whoever was performing, she was there, a cheerleader, an enthusiast. And I remember one time Debbie couldn't be with her, and all of a sudden, the door opens, and she said, I'm here, Julie comes in, and she walked down the street, and she said, I'm here to see so-and-so. And I said, Julie, that person is tomorrow night. She said, oh dear. Well, what do you got tonight? But this moment is when the staff of the restaurant, which you may have noticed on the way in, a lot of young people, and they knew who Julie Wilson was because she was coming here all the time. And then one night, Holt appeared with her and walked in to see a show. And they were all like, he's on television, he's a movie star. And they were all talking, and one of the people said, that's her son. So they were eating, and then at one point, Holt excused himself at the restroom, and they all ran over to the table. And they were like, oh, Julie, oh, we love your son. He's so gorgeous. He's a movie star. He's handsome. Oh, I've seen him in the movies on television. Oh, Julie, what does it feel like to have a movie star for a son? And they were all carrying on, and then there was this long pause. And Julie smiled and said, the best thing about Holt is he knows how to treat people. I wanna be tied with velvety strings. I wanna be all those good for you things. Give your beauty rest springs a reason to sigh. I wanna be all the cream in your dairy. And when you're contrary, the laughter that lights the light in your eyes. I wanna be tried and terribly true. Take oceans of pride in all that you do. Be there nightly when you come home from the wars. For can't you see, everybody needs some security when the going gets scary. Please say you'll be mine. I wanna be yours. I wanna be true, and Lord only knows. I wanna be tried right down to my toes. Be there nightly to close your windows and doors. For can't you see, everybody needs some security when the going gets scary. Just had to design this small valentine that's simply in love.
So when I started putting this together, actually the very first person that I reached out to, of course, was Holt. I wanted to get his blessing and see if he had any ideas or people that he wanted to be involved or whatever. And I was so thrilled when he emailed back and he goes, not only do I think this is a great idea, but I'd like to come perform if you think it would be okay. And I said, I think we have room for you. And then he emailed me back and said, and I'd like to bring a friend of mine to sing with me. And he told me who it was, and I said, I think we have room. So we were really thrilled. And also, well, he's going to talk more about it when he comes up here, but he also asked if he could preview this wonderful documentary, which we're going to be doing for you. So, but I'm going to let him do all of that. We are thrilled that he's here. He was instrumental in helping put this together. And we're thrilled that he traveled on his day off to come here to be with all of us. Please welcome Holt McCallany. And while he's coming, don't forget to visit the plaque on the way out.
Hi. Well, first of all, let me say, Sidney, you tell the nicest stories about me. Every time we do one of these, I'm so flattered. It's so thoughtful of you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Lennie, for organizing this, and to everybody at MAC, and to everybody at Don't Tell Mama, and Lorinda, and Debbie. So many people that I love in this room today. Anyway, oops. Good, give me a chance to compose myself. A couple of years ago, we decided that it would be fun to try to put together a documentary film about my mother's long singing career so that younger singers and future generations and, my family, when I have one eventually, so that they would get to know her and know her work. So one of our directors is here in the room this evening, and we decided what better occasion than to show for the first time a trailer for the Julie Wilson documentary. It's called But Beautiful, which was one of her very, very favorite songs. And we think it came out really well, and I hope you'll enjoy it. This is just a trailer for the film, but if I could direct your attention to the screen, this is the Julie Wilson doc, But Beautiful.
That's a lovely name, a sophisticated name. Tell me, Brucey, what are your plans for tonight?
Julie, is being a headliner in show business all you thought it would be?
It's a very fulfilling life because of the people and the contact with the audiences.
Now, did Frank Sinatra ever have a thing for you?
No.
Oh, okay.
But he said I had a crazy face. She was so goddamn sexy. I mean, truly, I was saying, holy shit.
Julie is considered one of the great stars of the cabaret world. I'm still, basically a struggling actor. I've got a lot to live up to.
Julie Wilson, when you gave up show business, this is what you gave up for a while. When you went back to Nebraska.
And I don't
Am I correct?
You are correct.
It was really after my brother died that my mother lost the ability to throw anything away. That's when the house started filling up. I had a conversation with Julie in which she said, I could never write a book. I have secrets. Today is our final rehearsal before we get to Princeton. This show would not have been possible if we had not gone through all of my mom's things. It's her 90th birthday party, so I'm doing a tribute to her in Paris. This is me singing some of her songs. She's 90, so if not now, when?
If you were mine, I'd never let you go. This is my record size. But beautiful,
Thank you. That's just a little taste, but sometime in 2017, you'll get to see the film in its entirety. Many of you probably know that, well, some of you know anyway, that I'm actually shooting a new television series for Netflix in Pittsburgh, and they graciously gave us the weekend off so I could be here and be a part of this. And it's very funny because our lead actor on the show is a very handsome, very talented guy who I'm having just the best time working with. And it turns out that he met my mother many, many years ago when Chris was playing for another friend of ours, Stephen Brinberg. And I know that many of you probably know Stephen Brinberg. He performs at Don't Tell Mama, and he's fabulous. And he came with us to Paris for a show that I did there for my mom's 90th birthday. And Stephen often finds a good-looking young actor to do a duet with in his show. Have you seen Stephen's Barbra Streisand show? So on this occasion, it was my friend Jonathan, and after the show, Chris introduced Jonathan to my mother, and they chatted for a while. And when he walked away, my mother turned to Chris Denny and said, "That kid has something special. He's really got it." So I wonder if you would give a warm welcome to a guy who's really got it, the fabulous Jonathan Groff. And I'd also like to introduce a Grammy-winning trumpet player and a good friend, Mr. Seneca Black. So when I did the little show in Paris for my mom for her 90th birthday, this was the first time when I was going to attempt performing some of my mother's music for her, because it finally occurred to me later in her life that she got a kick out of it when I got up to sing, and so I thought, oh my God, I better start taking some lessons. So I didn't tell her what songs that I was going to do because I wanted it to be a surprise. But there was one song that she insisted I do, and we're going to do it for you now. That's life. That's what people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know we're gonna change that tune when we're back on top next June.
That's life. Funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stepping on your dream. But I know that it's not worth a try. We're gonna be back on top in July.
I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king.
I've been up and down and over and out. Oh, the drama we've seen.
Each time we find ourselves flat on our face,
we pick ourselves up and get back in the race. That's life.
And I can't deny it. I thought of quitting,
but his co-star wouldn't buy it. And if we're gonna say one thing,
I'd jump on a big bird and I'd fly. Seneca Black, ladies and gentlemen.
Seneca Plaque! Now, Holt, I think we should take this opportunity, since
Yes,
we have
Arnold.
a crowd here at
We sure do.
Tomatos, that we should show them some of the tap moves that we've been working on between takes.
What a great idea.
Right? Do you want to see Holt tap?
I'm not very good.
Shuffle, toe, heel. Shuffle, 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 stop.
Shuffle, toe, heel, shuffle, toe, heel, shuffle, shuffle, toe, heel, stop.
Flap, heel, step, step, and up, and up.
Flap, heel, step, step, and up, and
And
up.
a parody.
I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up
And down,
and over
and out.
all the drama we've seen. Each time we find ourselves
Flat on our face.
we pick ourselves up and get back in the race. That's life.
Oh, that's life.
And we can't deny it. We thought of quitting, but Netflix wouldn't buy it. But if they don't renew us by July, we're gonna roll ourselves up.
Oh, hold you better all
In a big ball and Thank you so much. Send the Plaque on the trumpet. And the one and only Bishop Denny. Thank you, Lennie.
Paul McCallany and Jonathan Groff, everybody.
Wow. There's nothing else to be said after that. I just want to take a second to thank you all for coming out and spending this afternoon with us. We really appreciate you all coming out, and please look for the Jan Wallman tribute in January 30th at the Duplex. Please give it up for the wonderful Christopher Denny. We couldn't do it without him. Also, I just want to thank Sidney, Myer, and everybody here at Toto Mama for allowing us to do this here, and also on lights and sound and a myriad of other things. The wonderful Adam DiCarlo and the group. I want to thank the wait staff here. Please, in true Julie Wilson fashion, be kind to them on your way out. And thank you all for coming. And when you leave, we're going to go out the opposite way through the piano bar, so take a gander at the beautiful Plaque in its new home. Thank you all for coming.